Hi, I'm Daniel, and this is my Advanced Software Engineering Boost Part 2 demo. In this video, I'll demonstrate my interpreter with int variables, if and else statements, as well as while loops. I'll also show my version control, unit tests, and explain how the core parts of the interpreter work. As you can see here, I've just filled in all the information that's needed fill in. Yeah, this is my GitHub username, and this is my GitHub repo link. I will be pasting the YouTube video demo later on when I'm done. This is the total amount of commits I've done, and I've done at least 20 commits. I've updated my README. I've used version control throughout the development, so commits was spread over time, as you can see here. As you can see here, commits was spread over time. So and as you can see there, commits for implementing variables and if-else logic, while loops, and unit tests. My README here includes my name and the basic project information. So moving on, for the interfaces, I would like to be honest, I didn't really do them. I focused mainly on implementing the required interpreter functionality, and my priority was just making sure the variables, the loops, the unit tests work correctly, rather than adding the interface, even though it was important. And due to my part one not following, as I was a bit confused during part one, so I did not really follow what was needed. So a lot of the things that I ended up trying and doing did not work due to me not following the right requirements. But moving on to further unit tests, I did unit tests for all my classes. I'll show right here. One of them is being this one right here. This file is the app stored program test, and these tests focus mainly on variable storage and expression evaluation. I test declaring int variables, assign values, evaluating expressions, and checking conditions. And this ensures that the variables behave the right way as they should. So I did tick yes for that. And yes, unit tests are all separate classes which correspond to each of my classes. So as you can see here, this is for the app stored program. This mainly focus on the interpreter itself. And these tests just act like a acceptance tests by running realistic boost programs. So just to make sure, I do have XML comments for all of them. I'm gonna give you an example here. As you can see here, I have XML comments for all my tests. So I did tick yes right here, and I did tick yes for running them. So I'll run all my tests right now. And I did run them before earlier just to make sure, but I'm gonna run them again so you can see. And as you can see, all 37 passed are run successfully. So moving on to the design patterns. For design patterns, again, I focused on the interpreter logic. I did not implement explicit design patterns. So beyond the basic structure of the code, shall I say, I didn't really implement any design patterns with singleton and the factory design. So I did have to tick no for that. So obviously I didn't do no additional. Put in NA. Regarding the variables, this program demonstrated the unrestricted int variables. So I'm going to run it right now so you can see. Yeah, so I'm gonna just get a command from the Boost example programs and run the int. And as you can see, it works. The radius is set to 50. The width of the is calculated and it's times by 2, which gives 100, and the height is set to 100. The program then draws a circle using the radius value, and the rectangle is using the calculated width and height. As you can see, that is set here. So I did tick yes for that, and this is the link for the screenshot that I put in, or the image, and it's in here. Just to explain a little bit more, the appends represents the integer variable. It stores the variable name, its value, and the constructor allows an optional initial value which defaults to 0 if none is provided. So you can see it here. Also the appstored program. At the top of this file, you can see I stored the variables in the dictionary. The key is the variable name and the value is the apt-int object that I showed you earlier. And the declare int creates a new integer variable and it validates the variable name, checks that it doesn't already exist, and it adds it to the dictionary as well. Here, the evaluate expressions handles arithmetic expressions such as 2 times radius. It processes multiplication and division first, and then it processes subtraction and addition. And the get token value that is implemented in here, it just determines whether the token is a number or a variable name. If it's a variable, then the value is retrieved from the dictionary. Then moving on to the Boost interpreter, I hope I'm not running off track. Moving on to the Boost interpreter. When the Boost interpreter encounters an int declaration, like int radius equals 50, as shown in the command before, this method parses the statement and evaluates the expression and registers the variable. And for commands such as circle radius, this method evaluates each parameter so the correct integer values are passed to the drawing commands. it's all implemented. So I did tick yes for that, and here's the screenshot. I didn't end up doing the real class, so I did take no for that. So no screenshots. I also didn't end up doing the array. Also take no. Moving on to the if, while, and for. In this program, the control is set to 50. So I'm gonna just run it right here so you guys can see. I'm gonna run it, and I'm gonna run the command for it as well. And as you can see here in this program, the control is set to 50. 50 is not less than 10, so the else block executes, and the pen color is set to green, and a large circle is drawn. I mean, it's not that large, but it runs. So let me just give you guys a quick code explanation. As you can see here on the execute if block, here the execute if block evaluates the condition. It determines which block of code should run, and define block boundaries right here. It correctly handles the nested if statements by tracking the matching else and end if statements. Looking for the evaluation condition. So I did take yes, and this is the screenshot for it as well. Moving on to the unrestricted while boost. Let me just prepare myself and get this unrestricted while boost right here. I'm gonna run it one more time. And as you can see here, the high starts at 150. Then it reduces the height by 15, and when the condition becomes false, the loop stops executing it. So let me just explain it on the code here. No, sorry, this one. Execute while block. As you can see here, the execute while block repeatedly checks the loop condition and execute the loop body and continues until the condition fails. And here the find while correctly matches the while statement with its corresponding end while including the nested loops. So I did click yes for that. I added a screenshot for it. I didn't do the unrestricted false, and I did include the else within my own code. I didn't embed it with the if, and it's here. As you see, I did embed it. I don't know if I'll get any marks for that, but I did try. So I did paste the link for the ifs. basically concludes my demo. I implemented int variables with expression evaluation, if and else statements, and while loops. All unit tests passed successfully. And yeah, thank you very much for watching.